Before I get to the future of live events, I'd like to reflect back on the beginning of 2020, specifically January 11th, 2020. I was here in LA, standing inside the Staples Center for Calibash, a show produced by my team and I, arguably one of the most iconic Latin shows in the country, featuring the biggest names in Latin music. Bad Bunny, Rosalia, Balvin, J-Lo, Daddy Yankee, Ozuna, Enrique Iglesias, Justin Bieber, Snoop Dogg. These are just a few of the names that have graced the Calibash stage. The show promises unforgettable performances from legendary talent, hot new rising stars, surprise guests, and even some memorable onlookers. This year we had Kylie Jenner in the crowd, and LeBron James took to the stage to dance during Bad Bunny's set. As the house lights began to dim, I looked around the arena and took in this larger-than-life moment. This wasn't my first Calibash, but it was certainly my biggest. I saw our listeners, our staff, our community, all people from different walks of life, true fans, come together for an extraordinary live music experience. Anyone who's ever produced a show knows that all the hard work, the sleepless nights, the months planning, the running around backstage to put out fires is worth it the moment you hear the roar of the crowd grow louder, or when you hear the words "sold out." The energy at Staples Center that night in January was electric, and the following night as well. Since I started producing the brand, it has grown so much that we added a second night, and it has expanded into other markets, for example, Las Vegas. In March, following the success of Calibash, we received one of the greatest recognitions of my career. Billboard listed us as the third highest grossing concert promoter in the US. Our very own Calibash was listed amongst the names Celine Dion, Elton John, and Madonna as Billboard top box scores in 2020. That was just in January. 2020 was shaping up to be a remarkable year. Suddenly, we were hit with the COVID-19 global pandemic, and the entire world, and all of our plans, were put on hold. The disappointment and anxiety I felt was far from that electric feeling I had at Staples Center. We had so many great events lined up for the year, and in the blink of an eye, everything changed. In-person strategy meetings turned into Zoom calls, with special appearances by my kids. I've watched live DJ jam sessions on Instagram, and joined TikTok, though I haven't attempted to make a dance video yet, and I'm probably too old. Virtual happy hours is how I stayed connected with my friends, and FaceTime became the only way to visit my family. I had to figure out how to lead a division that relies heavily on in-person interactions. By coming up with a live music strategy that aligned with the reopening of society, has presented its own unique challenges. How can anyone practice social distancing at a concert? We're currently working on some exciting new projects in accordance with CDC guidelines, of course. We've been exploring fanless venues with digital distribution, smart speaker experiences, as well as drive-ins and more intimate events. While those conversations were happening, we were faced with yet another unimaginable tragedy. What happened to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and countless others is unacceptable, and it shook me to my core as well as the rest of the world. The Latino community is no stranger to racism, bigotry, and discrimination. I'm angered and I'm deeply saddened by the racial injustice that still exists today. I felt like we went 20 chapters backwards in history. My grandfathers came to this country with the dream of making it in America. They dreamt of owning a radio station, of starting a multimedia company designed to give voice to the Latino community, a place where all people can come together to experience and celebrate Latin music, entertainment, and culture. John Denver once said, "No matter what language we speak, what color we are, the form of our politics, or the expression of our love and our faith, music proves we are the same." Music is the sound of our culture, our history, and our voice when we can't find the words. It sparks emotion, and it brings people together. One of the things that fascinates me the most about Latin music in particular is that more Americans are listening to Latin music albums today. Just 2 years ago, Latin music accounted for 9.4% of all album listening in the US, versus country music at 8.7%, which is pretty remarkable. One of the genres that has propelled the growth of Latin music is reggaeton. I actually just learned this myself, but it was birthed during the creation of the Panama Canal. It evolved in the Caribbean, and now is considered the new global sound. Proving that it doesn't matter what language you speak or where you come from. Many people know Despacito, Mi Gente, even Gasolina. I've heard Pitbull playing in a bar in Indonesia, locals knowing every word to the songs and having no idea what he was actually saying. I also recently saw the movie Trolls World Tour with my son, which, don't judge me, I highly recommend everyone watch. Not only is it visually stimulating, it has a powerful and relevant message, which was this: differences are to be acknowledged and celebrated. We may not understand someone who is different than ourselves, but it's important to say, I see you, I hear you, you may be different than me, and that's amazing. I think you can see how beautifully this harmony plays out in music. Reggaeton is really the perfect example of how a specific genre of music can make an impact globally, regardless of whether someone speaks the language or not. My goal as a leader in the live music industry is to create more environments where we can bring people together through cultural experiences that inspire us to accept one another. Differences are what make people and the world beautiful. The COVID-19 pandemic has taught us that nothing is guaranteed. It has forced us all to slow down, to appreciate the little things more. It has challenged us to be pragmatic, innovative, and creative. It has shown us that we can do more with less. The civic unrest and racial division has taught us the importance of empathy, listening, using our voice. We're seeing people of all backgrounds march together around the globe. Music is something that brings people together no matter where they come from. It's a unifying force. And so it's more important now than ever that those leading the industry focus on how we can use our platforms for good, to shed light on issues that affect us all, while also serving our audiences. We have a long road ahead of us, but concerts will bounce back in due time. To me, that's not even a question. People crave the shared experience that is live music. Will we need to follow unusual protocols to ensure safety? Yeah. Will we need to adapt and evolve to thrive in our new normal? Absolutely. But this new normal will have challenged us to work smarter and do better. Thank you.